Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, I'm Jan, and in this video I'm revealing the top 50 devilish details you missed in Lucifer's final season, from ingenious Easter eggs and callbacks to hilarious meta-references and hidden jokes. Spoilers ahead of course, so take care. Since she first stole the hearts of Lucy fans in the pilot...
My name's Beatrice, but everybody calls me Trixie.
That's a hooker's name.
What's a hooker?
Ask your mother.
Scarlett Estevez has gifted us some wonderful scenes, and there's some fun Easter eggs at Maze's wedding to memorable moments between her and Trixie. So when Maze walks down the aisle as she reaches her little friend, they do a fist bump, then their signature cutthroat sign, which we saw a longer version of in the 3rd season episode Mr. and Mrs. Mazikeen Smith. Later at the reception, as Adam and Dr. Linda walk into the scene, watch the background very carefully, as while Eve is enjoying a glass of something sparkly, Maze is pouring something a little stronger, after which she checks around and surreptitiously tries to pass the glass of hard liquor to Trixie. Until that is, Eve realises what her new wife's up to and stops her. But this isn't the first time that Maze has offered Trixie an alcoholic drink, as she also did that as a bartender at Lux in season 1.
Is this a Shirley Temple?
Sure.
Check out the pile of presents at the reception, and among the boxes you'll spot a spiky gift with a festive white bow attached. As one of Hell's foremost torturers, Mazikeen certainly knows her weaponry, and will doubtless appreciate this addition to her collection, especially as this particular weapon is called a Morning Star. Of course, it's at the wedding that Ella reveals she knows her friend's celestial secret, and for Lucy fans, the apocalypse board she created to work it all out is the gift that just keeps giving. For example, there's her theories about what caused Dan the Frog to fall from the sky, which include whether it's some kind of weird side effect from Detective Dan's favourite dessert. The red eyes post-it note on Lucy's photo is a nod to his devil eyes, which he used very briefly in season 3 on Ella's brother, who could well have told her at some point, likely leading her to this clue. And proving what a great detective mind she has, we can see she figured out everyone's secret, including Charlie being half angel and Maze a demon. That picture of Maze, by the way, is from the hilarious time in season 5 she dressed up and tried to imitate Ella to make herself more emotionally available.
Oh my god, I have that exact same shirt!
Yes, you did.
Wait, did you steal my clothes?
As for Dan, it seems Ella briefly entertained ideas that he was also a supernatural creature, like a werewolf, vampire or centaur, but ended up dismissing them. Funny for many reasons, including that actor Kevin Alejandro actually starred in the vampire TV show True Blood, and also Goddess, who Dan dated, has centaurs in her new universe. The feather in the bag is a reference to the season 5 finale, where the writers had some fun with us, making it seem Ella was about to discover the truth.
I think I know what this is about, Lucifer.
You do?
Come on. So tell me the truth. You hit an emu with your car, didn't you?
By the way, fun fact, when season 5 was going to be the final season, the plan was for Ella to discover the truth right at the very end in the closing montage, where she was babysitting Charlie and he sprouted wings. Oh, and I love that, along with the many wild headlines and apocalyptic post-it notes, Ella's also written what looks like a rather more mundane reminder to herself: did you turn off the stove? Lucifer's to-do list is an eclectic mix and funny insight into his mind. He's already decided against becoming God and manages to bond with his daughter Rory. And up there next is checking in on Father Frank from the season 1 fan favourite episode A Priest Walks Into a Bar. It makes sense that Lucy would want to visit him in heaven and see what he's up to, given how hard he took his death. Father Frank was one of the few people to realise that Lucifer was actually the devil, and he reminded him that God had not abandoned him.
You're wrong, Lucifer. Remember that your father has a plan.
It's also hard not to chuckle at Lucy's idea to mess with Dan by naming him after Casper the Friendly Ghost, as well as his plan to re-watch all 12 seasons of Bones. That's 246 episodes, thank you very much.
That show was the perfect combination of procedure and banter.
As for Sao Paulo's inclusion on the list, that might be a reference to the real-life serial killer imprisoned in the Brazilian city who calls himself Lucifer, and has apparently killed many other prison inmates he views as bad people. Perhaps Lucy intends to put a stop to someone using his name for their own ends, as he did with Lucifone, the Lucifer impersonator from season 1.
I'm Lucifer freaking Morningstar.
Are you now? We can't have you running around cheapening the Lucifer brand now, can we?
Because, as we know, one thing Lucifer hates in particular is being used as a scapegoat for the bad and evil choices human beings make by themselves.
Oh, the devil made me do it! I have never made any one of them do anything!
And of course, because this is Lucifer's list, there's a final reference to a new sexual position he wants to try out. A billboard for the TV series Diablo, based on Lucifer's original Season 1 poster, pops up in the episode Buckets of Baggage, and that ad first appeared during a magnificently meta Season 5 murder investigation.
You want to find the killer, figure out their username.
Isn't there a better word for that?
And interestingly enough, the deliberate choice to insert the Diablo billboard into this particular aerial shot of Sunset Boulevard means it's juxtaposed with a real-life Catholic billboard that plays on both the US Got Milk campaign and the biblical miracle of water being turned into wine. And also in this shot is a real-life strip club whose name, Seventh Veil, is a nod to the Dance of the Seven Veils performed by Salome to get King Herod to execute John the Baptist. When Lucifer ponders what to wear to visit Jimmy Barnes,
Now, which do you prefer, the iconic white or pomegranate for more of an original sin vibe?
he seems to confirm the theory of some scholars that pomegranates, not apples, were the fruit that tempted Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. The red-seeded fruit has been a running theme in the show, appearing prominently in paintings at Charlotte the Goddess's law office, and getting a shout-out as one of original God's mysterious creations.
He does inexplicable things from time to time. Marsupials, pomegranates, the gallbladder.
And during Lucifer's investigation of Jimmy's hell loop, they take a period tour back to the 80s where playing at the movie theatre is Althea, Queen of the Quarks, one of Penelope Decker's best-known movies. Posters for the film have appeared previously on the show, and it was also mentioned in Season 5.
Miss Decker, I'm a huge fan. Althea, Queen of the Quarks? That should have won you an Oscar.
While Chloe's mum doesn't appear in the final season, Lucy mentions that Trixie's staying with her in the opening episode.
Grandma Penelope's heart's grown 3 times the size thanks to her time with Trixie.
That's a reference to the Grinch, whose heart triples in size after he learns the true meaning of Christmas, in particular thanks to a little girl called Cindy Lou Who. And it's also a nod to Scarlett Estevez, who plays Trixie, and her role in Illumination's animated Grinch movie as one of Cindy Lou's friends. There are several hat tips this season to the 1990s romantic thriller Ghost, from Maise's reaction to Ghost Dan asking her to give Ella a message.
No, I did not traipse over here on the wedding night to be your Whoopi Goldberg.
To Lucy and Chloe's Unchained Melody moment in the panic room. And there's even a cameo from Patrick Swayze's brother Don, who pops up as a gas station owner during Lucy's search for his daughter. Hat tip to Ragu for pointing that out on my last video. When the Morningstar family ends up on Dr. Linda's couch with a case of future child angst, the symmetry of Lucifer and Rory's body language not only reflects how much they have in common,
She takes after you in her exits.
but it also mirrors the Season 5 scene where Lucy and God had their own therapy session with the good doctor. Speaking of similarities, both Rory and God also seem less than impressed with Lucy's large alcohol collection.
Nothing is ever good enough for you. Why's your kitchen just a wall of scotch?
An entire wall of liquor upstairs and it's all just whiskey?
And both Lucy and Rory's devil faces pop up when their respective fathers are under threat. Plus, they also have very similar tastes in TV.
The best TV show you have ever seen? Bones.
The spinoff from My Time kicks your Bones' ass. More Bones is the perfect combination of procedure and banter.
So in many ways, the apple really hasn't fallen far from the tree. Lucy's love affair with Bones actually began back in Season 3.
Watched all 12 seasons. It's riveting stuff. It's like watching a documentary of us.
And in Season 6, he's still not over at getting the chop at Fox, the same channel that also cancelled Lucifer.
This is a terrible idea. Worst I've heard since some genius decided to cancel Bones.
In fact, in episode 5, Lucy thinks he disappears from Rory's life due to death by dentist, as Dr. Kyle seems strangely familiar to him, but then he realises why.
Do these commercials ever run during Bones?
Syndicated audiences are tooth decay audiences.
Which reminds me of another time that Lucy's Bones obsession led him astray in Season 3.
Detective, I've seen that man before. Who's the killer?
That man turned out to be an actor from Bones in both real life and in Lucifer. And on top of all those tributes to the former Fox show, Bones actress Patricia Belcher also guest stars in Season 6 as Loretta. I love the song choice of Worship by the artist Laces for Eve and Maise's wedding, and the way that episode's editor has cut the action to the song's lyrics is just fantastic, as it gives us moments like the camera focusing on Lucifer and Chloe as the words "maybe in another life" ring out, foreshadowing their separation by the end of the show and their eventual reunion in hell. Then there's a shot of Maise with the lyrics "'cause heaven won't take me." Then we cut to Eve on the line "devil won't take me," which certainly fits her Season 4 experience with Lucifer. Then we move to Lucy and Chloe again as Laces sings "Nothing Feels Better Than You," before cutting to Ghost Dan followed by Amenadiel on the line "if angels won't save me." Given Eve's Garden of Eden origins, it feels especially appropriate that she and Maze are married in front of a large tree and a pair of flower-covered rings, in their own little paradise of sorts. The real-life location for the wedding is the lush garden of the Walt Disney Concert Hall in LA, which seems extra fitting as Imbar Levy plays the original Sinner Eve with all the excitement and innocent wonder of a Disney princess with an added naughty side. The garden theme continues at the reception with Maze and Eve sitting in front of a heart-shaped tree covered in pinky red fairy lights, a colour associated with both love and the devil, and it also reminds me of classic images of the Tree of Knowledge. Another delightful little detail, you could even say it's the icing on the cake, is the cake topper, which is actually a mini version of Eve and Maze dressed in the very same outfits they got married in. Maze's choice of gifts for kids has certainly stayed consistent over the seasons, with newborn Rory getting a cutting-edge present from the demon, just as baby Charlie and Trixie did in season 4.
Maze, you know she's not allowed to play with knives.
Relax, Dan. These knives aren't for Trixie. They're for a baby.
And talking of Charlie, at his birthday party there's a big present wrapped up in serpent-covered paper, a hint perhaps that it's from his uncle Lucifer. And Charlie getting his wings on his second birthday fits nicely with the fact that he's entering the terrible twos, the period of development when toddlers often experience temper tantrums as they test their boundaries and want greater independence. While Amenadiel's pleased as punch, Linda looks shocked as after all he told her in season 5 their son wouldn't be getting wings at all.
Do you not realize that this is good news? No more ugly-ass bubble wrap. No more worrying about a head-on with the 737.
And at the polar opposite end of the gift-giving spectrum to Maze is Ella. And what else would you expect as a present for Miss Lopez than something you could give a nice big ol' hug to, like a teddy bear? There is of course a lot more to discuss about that ending and whether it was a good way to finish the series, which I go into in full detail in my Ending Explained video. Tap here to watch that or follow the link in the video description. So what were your favourite moments in the final season? And what other details or Easter eggs did you spot? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, then a thumbs up and a share are hugely appreciated. Tap left to check out my next Lucifer video, or tap right for something else you're sure to like. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers!